Opinions Matter, we want to give a big shout out to our current show sponsors, and that is the Snail Box. Now, the Snail Box, if you've never been to it, is a one-of-a-kind pub and restaurant at Kilmoon Cross, north of Ashburn. It's just off the N2. It's known for its mouth-watering food, warm, family-friendly atmosphere, and outdoor seating with breathtaking panoramic views of counties Meath, Dublin and Louth. The Snail Box is more than just a dining spot. It's an experience. It's one of my favourite places to eat. And I love it because it's a family-run business. The family are there all the time. Philip is a brilliant proprietor, I have to say. He runs a fantastic venue, and they have the most incredible collection of baseball caps. It's very random, but on the roof of the Snail Box, right through the entire restaurant, they have a load of baseball caps. They're actually trying to break a world record for the most amount of baseball caps on public display. So if you happen to be around anywhere in the world, buy a baseball cap, bring it into the Snail Box. They'll give you one in return, and help them with their collection and their world record attempt. And also, if you are in Emerald Park over the summer months, why not pop along to the Snail Box straight afterwards? It's only 10 minutes from Emerald Park. Bring the kids and have a bite to eat. Anyway, our thanks to the Snail Box for being the current sponsors of the Opinions Matter podcast. So what do we want to talk about on this latest episode of Opinions Matter? Marion got in contact with us. And this has triggered a lot of people. It really has. I want you to have a listen to what Marion has to say. Only started listening to your podcast recently and really got into it. Would you cover this? I'm a primary school teacher and I'm also a mother of 2 girls under 10. So I know a lot about children and their development. But there is something that bugs me. Parents who land kisses and hugs on their children without asking. What's the harm in asking? I have a sister-in-law who does this. She's constantly kissing her 5-year-old on the lips and doesn't ask for permission first, and it's obvious that my niece doesn't like it. Should we not be teaching children from primary school age that it's your body and someone, even a parent, needs permission to kiss you or hug you? Don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those mad American parents and my children are never starved of affection, but what's wrong with asking? Please address this. Keep up the good work. And that's from a lady who signed her name Marion. So Marion is a mother of 2. She's also a primary school teacher. And she believes that parents should get consent, basically, to hug or to kiss their child.
You would not believe, ladies and gentlemen, the absolute shitstorm that has gone down over Marion's topic. I am shocked. Absolutely shocked.
What are you shocked about?
Genuinely shocked how people are triggered by this and who are saying all sorts of things. Saying, like, I want to read out one comment from Donna Nolan. We've invited Donna on. Hopefully she'll come on because she says, "Oh my God, this teacher needs therapy. Maybe give your own kids some love and attention and teach them that it's okay to be affectionate." Now, Donna, let me stop here. And I know we didn't put up Marion's full email on the Facebook page because it was too long. But Donna, she literally says in her message that she gives her children affection, that they are very affectionate. Can you let me find the quote again? Where is this?
Don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those mad American parents, and my children are never starved of affection, but what's wrong with asking?
So Donna, she does give them. Anyway, Donna goes on and she says, maybe give the kids some love and attention and teach them it's okay to be affectionate. My kids love attention, but also teach them healthy boundaries. So you literally agree with her. Are you stupid, Donna? So you're saying that the teacher needs...
No, I think Donna's saying that this doesn't apply to parents. Well, that's what I'm reading.
Well, why shouldn't it? Now, I am not a lefty parent, okay? Those of you listen to this podcast for years and you know me for years will know that I am not a lefty parent. I'm far from... Not that it's even a lefty thing. People just throw that out nowadays for everything, don't they? Oh, lefty, woke, lefty. This is not to do with low woke or lefty bullshit, okay? This is about about parenting, okay? And I am far from a lefty parent. I'm not a woke parent or anything like that. But I have never given any of my kids a kiss without asking them first. Never. Absolutely never.
And would they ever say no?
Yes, they have done. They have done. One of my kids, I'm not going to signal them out, but one of my kids could be hot and cold when it comes to that sort of stuff. And there's days that I would say, can Daddy have a kiss? And that child will, it's one of my girls actually, and she will turn around and she go, no problem, Daddy. But there's other days she just doesn't want to, for whatever reason. You don't have to give an excuse as to why you don't want to get a kiss. So I would always ask. And on the days that I ask and she says, no, I don't, it's absolutely fine. Yeah? Mm-hmm. But I will always ask. I wouldn't just lob the gob on one of my children. So why are people getting so bloody triggered about this? So let's deal with the facts here. Okay, the facts are here. Marion is not starving her children of it. We live, by the way, I live in the most affectionate house. We literally hug the kids and kiss the kids to death. Yeah, They get hugs and kisses.
And you ask for permission every time.
I've always asked.
I am about to give you a hug,
okay,
child B.
You're making shit up just to be more dramatic.
No, but is that how it works?
That's not how it happens. No, if one of my daughters was here beside me now, she was here actually last week.
Yeah.
And if sometimes I look at her and go, I'd love to give her a kiss. I would literally say to her, it's not, I want a kiss off you. Like, what are you making that up for? Nobody speaks like that.
What way do you do it?
If she was sitting here beside me, and say it was Freya, for argument's sake, yeah? And I'd say, Freya, can Daddy give you a kiss? That's all I'd say. It's not taking a minute out of your day. It's not snowflakey. It's not woke. It's not helicopter parenting. I'll just say, Freya, can I have a kiss? And she'd go, of course, Daddy. Or she might go, no, Daddy. So nobody is saying that it's not a positive thing to... Obviously, I grew up in a...
It's just some Irish radio station. It's better than me just listening in the fucking silence, you know? So, silence like a cancer grows. You know? How we look?
Big huggy household as well, where my parents hug me and kiss me to death. I love hugs and kisses from my kids, but I will always ask. And it is. Like, people were saying the woman needs her hard drive checked because she's thinking that way. What Marion is actually doing. No, I just think a lot of you were too stupid to pick up on what Marion is saying.
Okay,
Marion
so say, for example, if
I thought we were all about protecting children and protecting people from now.
We're talking parents here, though.
Yes, what I'm saying. If you teach a child from a young age that consent is, and I know we're Katie, by the way. I think most of you.
In fact, Katie wants to come on about this.
I think most of people who are commenting on this don't have kids. They're loners and they've never had kids and they just live in a box room somewhere. That's what I think. Because anybody who has, I just thought.
Okay,
so you know when I said
my young child sitting.
Let me just finish. When we got this message from Marion yesterday evening, yeah. My first reaction to you was, what did I say? I said, let's not do this because most parents do ask for permission. I assumed that was a given. That everyone just goes, oh, come here. Give me a little kiss. Can Daddy have a kiss? Can Mommy have a kiss? That's what happens in my house with me and my wife. Because it's
I'm confused. I really am. So say, for example, the other day I was out for a bite to eat with my daughter and my grandson, yeah, and dropped them off home, and I gave my daughter a hug before I headed off. Should I have said to my 28-year-old daughter, darling, is it okay if I give you a hug?
No, again, you're being absolutely silly because at her age...
But surely it applies.
Listen. That's not what Marion's saying either. What she's saying is our primary school age. You don't know this because your kids haven't been in school in years. Mm. But in primary school, they teach kids about their private parts and personal space.
Absolutely. Nobody's talking about touching private parts.
But I'm just saying about personal space. Yeah. Generally, personal space. That's what they teach kids about now.
Yeah,
and
fine.
It's your body, and nobody has the right, not even a parent has a right to invade that personal space. Some kids like their personal space. So should you have asked your daughter for permission? No, because your daughter's in her 30s. She knows about consent. Well, I assume she does at this stage. And she's adult enough to be able to make, and this is the key, and I'm going to say very slowly to those of you who are thick and don't get this. An adult has a fully formed brain. So they have cognitive, they're able to address issues, and they're adult enough to be able to say, no, Dad, I don't want to hug off you. But when you are 6 or 5 or 4 or even 7, kids haven't got that cognitive power at this stage.
Okay. When it comes to other people hugging children that aren't theirs, aunties, uncles, and everything else, I agree that aunties and uncles should say, "Can I give you a hug, little Johnny?"
Good evening, everybody. How are you from Russia? I don't do drugs anymore. I'm 2 years clean on crack. I used to love washing up the crack, stick it on the pipe and... But I can't do that no more.
Little Mary, yeah. But I don't think it should apply to parents. I think it's ridiculous to think that parents...
But what's it doing? What's it taking out of your life just to see, can I have a kiss? Because maybe the child doesn't want to kiss that day.
Our number is 08582522626.
I think you're all fucking nuts. I really think you've all fucking lost the run of yourselves. Because you're all on this podcast every second day talking about how we need to protect children, yeah? Mm-hmm. And that the worst thing in the world is children not knowing about consent and about their own body, yeah?
Yeah.
And then you're all on here triggered because a mother basically says, so am I a bad parent because I say to my kids, can Daddy give you a kiss? That's literally...
Nobody's saying you're a bad parent for it.
Sorry, some people are.
I just think it's ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
This is Alicia.
Yeah, I just wanted to come on to say the amount of people who think this is rubbish is alarming. Kids learn force from parents, so if you say to a child, can I have a hug, and they say no or shake their head, what would you do? Would you actually force them? Now, I understand as a parent you can hug and kiss your child whenever, and most of the time they would hug you and kiss you back, but if they don't want to at that time, let them say no. Like, how many times as a child were we forced to hug or kiss a relative when we didn't want to? This is the basis of learning to listen to our own bodies and our own feelings in that moment. If a future boyfriend or girlfriend does the same thing, your child is going to learn, oh, I'll just say yes to please them. I'll ignore what I want. What's that called then? The basis of learning is with the parents, and we don't realise how something so small and so insignificant to us can shape a child's brain. So this is not about being a snowflake or whatever else people might call it. This is...
I thought I could hear some shouting there. Whoa, Jesus, where'd you go? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Good. Having a good day. Having a good day. I'm not gonna lie. Welcome Ukraine. Fuck Russia. Now I don't like to pick sides, but I'll pick Ukraine if I have to. Sometimes I just like to stick the radio on, guys, and we can all have a chat. And thanks everybody for coming in. I'm having a spliff. I'm having a lemon tea. And we'll listen to the radio about some stupid fucking Irish issues. Free Ireland and free Ukraine.
About respecting boundaries, even as a child. That child has to grow up and be an adult, and we have to teach them not to be a people pleaser.
Opinions Matter. With Adrian Kennedy and Jeremy Dixon.
Leah, you're on Opinions Matter. How are you, Leah?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, Leah. What did you want to say on this? Should parents seek consent from their children before giving them a hug or a kiss?
So I'm just really baffled on why people get really defensive when the idea of boundaries and consent surrounding children comes up. It makes no sense to me. So when I was a kid, I did not like being touched. Didn't like being hugged. I didn't like being kissed.
By anybody, including parents?
By anyone. But I was undiagnosed with autism. So boundaries were something that I struggled with. I struggled in, just trying to tell people, like, I don't like being touched. And you would be made feel guilty as a child when someone else didn't get a hug off you. They'd go, oh, why not? Just come give me a hug. Give me a hug. we need to start at home by teaching our children boundaries, and nobody's entitled to your body.
And by the way, Leah,
Nobody is entitled to be touched.
it's not just people who are. I know people as well who are not on the autism spectrum who just don't like humans. Some people just don't like. I'm a big.
It's not
hugger.
for everybody.
Yeah, no, physical contact is not for everybody. And by these people who are literally losing their shit over this and saying, my question to you guys would be, and to you, Adrian, if you don't believe that you should ask permission from a kid before kissing or hugging them, does that mean that if you do ask permission, yeah? So if I ask my daughter when I get home, can I have a kiss? Daddy's been out all day, can I have a kiss? And she says no. Should I force the kiss?
No, obviously not.
But that's the same thing as not asking. That's literally the same thing as not asking.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
You're presuming consent.
Yes, you're presuming
by doing
consent.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also think there's an argument to be made. You know your child better than anybody else. Like, my mom figured out really young that I didn't appreciate being touched, so she didn't touch me without asking. You're going to know your child better than anybody else. But if you see your child is clearly uncomfortable with you.
Right, I've only been a stepdad for 3 years. But what's up with the world? What is going on? You can't even kiss your babies anymore. What? Thanks God for giving me resilience. You can't even kiss your kids anymore. Oh, here, dear Jesus, God Christ Almighty.
You hugging and kissing them without being asked. Stop it. Nobody's saying that you're a bad person by not listening, or you're still learning. Everybody's still learning. This is just life. Some people like to be touched, some people don't. So just ask for permission.
And in what way do you ask for permission? May I please have a hug, or may I?
Can I have a hug?
Yeah, why are you making this actually more complicated?
It's not that hard. If I meet someone and I hold out my hand and someone doesn't hold out their hand back, I'm not going to feel slighted. I'm just going to put my hand down and continue the conversation.
No, but Adrian,
you don't even have to use words in order to ask for consent. Yes. You could put your hands out, and if they don't want to hug, they're not going to walk in and give you their arms back.
This is Adrian's making it. You're making it like a Forrest Gump.
It's not that hard.
I'm not.
You don't understand this basic thing that you literally just ask, and some days they don't want one, and some days they do.
But you know that anyway.
They know.
You would know that anyway.
No, some days I
move away from you.
There's some days I don't want any human contact, and there's some days that I do. But again, you couldn't answer the question when I asked you, Adrian. If you believe in assumed consent, that's what you're saying. You believe in assumed consent. That if somebody doesn't open their mouth,
I've come to the realisation that people are right. They are a state media. Like, if you wear a tricolour and you go to a march, you are a scumbag, lower educated, drug dealing scumbag. If you go out and march against the government, honestly, and that's wrong. That is so wrong. Fuck Russia, free Ukraine, and then free Ireland, right? Everyone else they can do whatever they want, okay? But a lot of good men and a lot of good women have died on the battlefields in Russia. Or not in Ukraine. Nice guys, average guys, they got called up for service. I'm here smoking a joint. None of them got that privilege. Bet you if every single soldier that died, God said, would you like to go back and have a little joint in peace and listen to some music? Yeah, they'd go, yeah, fuck yeah. So, but sometimes I bore myself. Luke, Hammy, there's a few others in there. I'm just trying to do something different. Sometimes it's a good episode, sometimes it's a bad episode, but how are you? What's up, Paul Blake? How are you? I'm just in the middle of a fat doobie, probably about the 8th of the day. I don't remember you, Paul Blake, from the flats. I didn't live in the flats, brother. Yes, this is good dog. Honestly, this is some good dog. I have a little bit of flavour there as well, but all the kids are in bed, everything's all good, so just gonna listen to this for a little while, see if it gets good, see if it gets shit. We'll see what happens.
you should be able to touch them. That's what you're saying.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
That is what you said. When it comes to kids, they are just there to be kissed and hugged when we feel fit to do so. That's what you're saying.
You're making it sound as if you're assaulting a child for a hug. That's not what I'm talking about. But your child is sitting beside you, and you put your arm around them and you give them a hug without asking. Well, I mean, I
don't think every scenario needs to be asked. I think you're going to understand your child's boundaries better than anyone else.
That's exactly my point.
If your child is upset, though, and you don't know if they're going to be reactive to the hug or not, asking is fine. We really need to have these conversations with our children while they're so young, and you need to let them know that their bodies are their own. Nobody is entitled to it, and they should never feel bad for saying no. Even if it's to mummy and daddy, even if it's granny or their uncles, they need to be able to say the word no when it comes to their body. And I'm not talking about in medical situations, because I had a conversation like this before, and someone said, "But what in case of a medical emergency?" That's a completely different circumstance. But in the circumstance of like, oh, you're not really feeling up for a hug, you don't have to do it. You know, just tell your child that they don't have to give a hug to anybody if they don't want to. They can always say no. Like,
First of all, I don't believe a word she says. It sounds like she's half American, half Irish. Mad liberal from the States. Fuck off. That's number one. Secondly, the Anthony Casey podcast is just started, guys. If you want to know everything that's going on in Ireland right now, all the troubles that you hear, watch the YouTube channel Anthony Casey or Dáil na Éireann, DAIL na Éireann. But shout out Ballybragg, shout out anybody who's sitting here watching, and we'll just listen. Sorry, guys.
And that's fine. That's fine when it comes to other people, aunties and uncles and grannies and granddads.
no, but the mothers and fathers as well.
Yeah, they're all humans, Adrian. It doesn't make any difference what relationship you have to the
No, but
person.
nobody's entitled to your body. Like, nobody's entitled to your body.
So you, sorry, again, Adrian, you said...
But as you said yourself, Leah, you know your child better than most people do. Yeah. So you know whether your child likes having a hug or not.
Yeah,
from a young age.
That's not the argument that I'm having. I'm just saying that while they're still young, we should be having the conversations about consent, about being touched, about boundaries, and we should be able to say to our kids, at any point you don't want to be hugged or you don't want to be touched, you can say no to the interaction. There's never going to be any negative feelings on your and you're not going to be disappointed if you say no.
Okay, Leah, address it from Kelly. Kelly says, I'll give over. I assume she's talking to you. Every child wants and needs a hug when they're obsessed. That's not true either. That is
no, it's not.
That's not true. Sorry. One of my daughters, when she's upset, she just wants to go into the room on her own. She literally doesn't want to hug. Yep. So again, you're assuming what every child wants, Kelly. Stop assuming that every child wants to be hugged, touched and kissed. Yes, some do, but at certain times, and the same with you, Kelly, I'm sure if you're in a relationship or you're married or something like that, I'm sure there's times that your husband comes home and he goes to give you a hug and you say, get me your fucking hands off me. I'm not in the mood today. I'm premenstrual, I'm perimenopausal, I'm just not in the fucking mood. Get away from me. I don't want a hug from you. I don't want a kiss from you. I know there's days where my wife would be more receptive to a kiss than other days. There's some days that I just know I better not try and kiss her. But then there's other days she'll want a kiss. People change. Stop forcing yourself on people, Adrian.
I'm not forcing myself on anybody. Rephrase that, please.
No, I'm talking. Stop spreading that it's okay to force yourself on people.
Jess, you're on Opinions Matter. How are you, Jess?
How are you?
Well, Jess, what do you want to say on this?
Oh, I think it's funny. I think it's absolutely funny for Marion. Like, I'm 26 and I still love a big old hug from me, mum.
But that's good for you. Well done. Send your Blue Peter badge. Well done.
Aren't you patronising today?
No, because
if you don't hug and kiss your children, I'm sorry, they're going to grow up to be weirdos.
Okay, first of all, we're not talking about people who are in their late 20s like you. And in fact, Marion specifically said...
Yeah, but if my mum and dad never hugged me, I bet you I'd be one of those weirdos who's like, people, get away from me.
Okay, first of all, she's talking about primary school.
Nothing wrong with a bit of love and affection.
Absolutely not. I grew up in that house that had that, but again, you must have cotton buds in your...
And look at you turned out normal, didn't you? Well, debatable, but you turned out normal-ish, didn't you?
The point is, when you're an adult, you are mature enough to be and you have enough power within you to be able to say no. But when you were 6 or 7, and if you remember back, I remember back when I was 6 and 7, I had an auntie. I literally had an auntie that used to smoke cigarettes, and she lobbed a gob on my mouth and kissed me before she went. And you had no say in it. Now we are teaching children, Jess. You're all about protecting children. We are teaching children, to stand up for them.
My mum or dad.
To stand up for them. We're not talking about your mum and dad and
you're shouting at.
And a 26-year-old woman.
You're
we're talking about primary age children, for God's sake. We're not talking about you.
Don't be shouting at me. Who's kissing your cornflakes today?
Jeremy, I agree that if it's aunties, uncles, grannies, granddads, and everything else, they should all ask for consent from that child. Okay. My only slight issue is where it comes to mammy and daddy having to ask consent.
But you're not
If
asking
I said no to my mum and dad growing up as a hug when I was a kid, they would have been worried that something was wrong or they did something wrong.
But no, Jess, certain children, listen to Leah. When Leah was a child, there's nothing wrong with Leah. When Leah was a child, she didn't want physical contact.
But your parents learn that anyhow. Parents would learn that anyhow. You'd know when your child winces and doesn't want a hug. Therefore, you wouldn't continue to give your child a hug because your child isn't a huggy child.
No, some children are huggy. Leah, will you try and talk sense to this? Because I'm.
Like this is the same type of people who would agree with people that say, "Oh, you need to ask the baby, can you change their nappy?" There are people who think that.
This is a whole different conversation, and I think the ignorance out
But
here
there are
makes
people who
actually
think
fucking
like that.
astounding. For you saying that children that don't like to be touched are going to
ignorant.
grow up to be weirdos. At the end of the day, I'm autistic. The reason why I don't like to be touched is because I'm touch averse.
What is wrong with a hug and a kiss from your mum or your
There's
dad?
nothing wrong with it. I just personally don't like it. I have a
You're acting
preference,
as
and
if
there's nothing
it's
fucking
the
wrong with
worst
that.
thing in the world.
I'm not acting like it's the worst thing in the world. All I'm
acting as if
saying
it's a
is
crime.
that when did I act like it's a crime, ya Amadan? When? Quote me. At
At
the end of the day, I am just saying, I'm not saying it's assault either. I'm just saying, ask people permission before you touch them. I don't think that's a wild thing to say.
Your own
I'm not gonna
kids.
put-
Your own kids.
Boundaries start at home. Teaching starts at home. You informing your
So you
children
teach them
about
with your
consent
aunts and
starts
uncles
at
then.
home.
Teach your aunts and uncles. Teach your aunts and
Yeah.
uncles. Why should the parents have to ask their own child? Can I hug you?
Oh my God, it's
It just
just
sounds laughable.
teaching them. It's not laughable, ya Amadan.
It
What's
is.
laughable is
It's
that you
absolutely
came in here
stupid.
fucking balls blazing over the idea that a child might want to have a boundary. Like, that's fine. Teaching a child, like, they don't have to hug you, and you don't have to be made feel bad about you not hugging your ma because she's upset about it. At the end of the day, they're children. They're not responsible for adult emotions. They're not responsible for them.
Oh, I think if a child isn't hugged and kissed enough as a child, I think it's bad news. And then the parent will feel shit. Like, did I do something wrong? Did I go wrong somewhere?
It's nothing to do with not being hugged and kissed enough as a child, because there's ways to show affection without being physical. You say it in words, you say it in affirmations, you say it in gift giving, you say it in providing for your kid. You don't have to touch them in order to do that. And my mom still hugged me, but she asked. And that was the best part about that. Like, my mom, even to this day, like, I'm 25 years of age. My mom asked before she hugs me because she knows I don't like it. And that's how my mom knows, like, I know my mom loves me, you know? Like, every person is different. Every person is different.
My own needs for a hug. Do you know how shit that makes me feel?
My nieces and
hug you,
nephews
please?
are autistic, and I asked them if they want to hug because
I wonder if she got knocked down by a car and she was told she had 6 hours to live, would you want a hug? Would you like to be touched by someone then?
understand that they're touch averse because I'm the same way. Everybody is different. If your niece and nephew doesn't want to be hugged, I think the majority of children that are insulted in their own homes, and teaching children about consent is not a fucking crazy thing or a loony thing. It stops children becoming victims in the future. And if that's not something you can wrap around your head around with, I'm like, I feel sorry for you. You're not entitled to hug your niece.
Don't feel sorry for me. I had loads of hugs and kisses growing up. It always made me feel warm, protected and safe.
Okay,
and I'm happy for you for that.
Yeah, and that's great. That's great, Jazz. But let's go back to the point that parents, and I know you're not a parent, and not that I don't think you're entitled to your opinion anyway. But parents.
I thought that's where you were going.
No. Parents should be asking for consent from their children before they give them a hug or give them a kiss.
Absolutely not. If you want to teach them about boundaries and asking, that's what the aunts and uncles are there for. So not many people want to hug.
But you got upset that your niece didn't want to hug from you. So
yeah, well, I don't think I should because I see her nearly every day. I grew up with her across the road the first 10 years of her life.
So it's different because when you're the auntie, it doesn't matter if you're a stranger to her or not. If your niece doesn't want to be hugged, don't hug her. I don't think that's a wild concept.
Yeah, but you don't understand how hurtful it is.
You're an adult. Who gives a fuck if a child hurts you? They're not responsible for your emotions. I'm not shouting. I'm using the same tone of voice that you're using.
I can hear your microphone blowing out on your other side of the phone.
Sorry, my mic is close to me. Well, I'll give you that because I'm using a headset. But I'm not being like yelling at you, like I'm not shouting at you. What I'm just saying is that that child is not responsible for how you're feeling when he says or he or she says they don't want to hug you. They're a child.
Okay, stay with me for a second. Our number is 085 825 2626. We're discussing Marion's message to us. She is a mother of two. She's a primary school teacher, and she wants parents to get consent from their kids to hug or kiss them.
The way you're wording that is literally triggering everybody. Get consent.
No, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but we're not talking about it in a way, can I consent to hug you? Basically, what we're talking about here, let's deal in the real world scenario here, that, as I've said before, my daughter was here last week sitting in this studio, Adrian, yeah? And it's about me looking at her and saying, I'd love to give her a kiss, and saying, Freya, can Daddy have a kiss? That's all. It's not, I want to hug you now. Can I please get a written consent form? Like, these in the real world.
Samantha.
Hi guys, Samantha here. Sorry I can't come on, I'm in work. I don't know parents that literally just land kisses and hugs on their children. Anyone I know always says, give us a kiss, or do you want a kiss, or holds out their arms open for a hug. So there's always some sort of indication to the child what you're looking for.
How are you, Jolene? Everybody. It's interesting, like, she got my daughter-in-law, stepdaughter came in earlier on, her dad, they dropped her off. She was in the house for about 15 minutes before I went in. I was doing the dishes. And I went like that, put my arms out and went, can I have a hug? Can I have a papa hug? And she just went, no. She goes, no. And I go, no, I won't tickle you, I promise. And she goes, no, you will. And she walked off. Then about half an hour later, she came over and she gave me a hug. How are you? Nabby, what's happening? I'm just listening to the radio here. It's hilarious.
I think this idea of asking for permission is maybe the wrong way to phrase it, but we inadvertently do this anyway. So all the people getting their knickers in a twist need to calm down, because I guarantee you most of them are doing it all the time. Thanks.
It's the Opinions Matter podcast with Adrian Kennedy and Jeremy Dixon. A podcast from Ireland with a difference.
Mary, you're on Opinions Matter. How are you, Mary?
Well, how's things? How are you?
Good, thanks, Mary. What did you want to say on this?
Come here. I think with each person, it's different. I think Leah has her own reasons why she thinks like that. Now, me, myself, I have 23 nieces and nephews, and I know myself, if I was in their house and I left without hugging them or giving them a kiss, they would be worried. So I think it depends what kind of relationship you have with that person.
Yeah, and do you go over to them and say, may I please give you a hug?
No, so if I'm in their house and I'm leaving, I'm saying, right guys, Auntie Rosie's away, I'll speak to you later. They run to me and they'll give me a hug. It's like a routine that as a family, that it's something we all do.
Yeah, but that's fine. But if the lady that left a message a couple of moments ago that we just played, I can't remember, I think her name was Samantha, and she said, we do this anyway, and most of the people that are losing their shit about this do it anyway. When I want to pick up one of my kids, I will always put my arms out. Every single parent puts their arms out when they want.
Yeah, and it's up to them. It's up to them whether they go to you or not.
We all do that. So why are we getting triggered about something that we all do? Nobody just grabs the kid. When you want to hug a kid or you want to lift up a kid, I know I do with my three, I'll put my arms out and go, come to daddy. And if she goes, no, I don't want to, it's absolutely fine. I'm not that fragile. Most of you must have very fragile egos that you get upset if your kids don't want to hug you or kiss you. Like,
no, I think a lot of people see it as these quacked American parents. Now, I know Marion says she's not one of those types of parent.
No, it's not that at all.
But it just seems crackpot.
No, crackpot is having to ask a baby for permission to change their diaper because the baby can't speak or understand.
That's bullshit. Yeah, sorry, that is absolutely bullshit.
By the way, that was all blown out of proportion. That was one person. That was one mad American that said that a couple of years ago, and it was made out that loads of people agreed with it. Nobody else agreed with it. Obviously, you can't get consent or permission from a baby that hasn't learned to speak, for God's sake. It's ridiculous.
But even as a child, my two younger kids in primary school, right, they're taught in school, it's a saying, never keep a secret, right? So that means if someone inappropriately or hugs them whatever way that they don't like, they can tell us as parents or tell the teachers.
Okay, so do you agree with Marion that parents should be getting consent to hug their children?
No.
Do you think it's ridiculous?
Yeah, because I have a 13-year-old and I have a 7-year-old, right? And if I said to the oldest fella, give me a hug, and he said no, I would think there was something wrong. Is he sad? Is he depressed? Or is he being bullied?
Arr, matey, how are you? I'm on a fat doink. Guys, you know you're not even allowed to record your kid's school school day anymore. You know, the little running day, or take pictures when you go to a play or a dance. You're not allowed to take pictures anymore. You have to go over and ask the child first if they would like to be in the photograph. Everybody. Then you have to go and ask the parents or guardian if they would like to be in the photograph. Fuck off, I'm taking photos. Weirdos out there. Honestly, weirdos.
Or something.
That's ridiculous, Mary. That's ridiculous. Some people.
It's not ridiculous.
Yes, it is ridiculous. You know,
no, hold on. We as parents know our children.
Okay.
So if our child constantly gives us hugs, right, and then all of a sudden then stops, there's obviously something wrong.
No, there's not. There's just some days. So sorry, if I go home today and I go to kiss my wife, she says I don't want to kiss, that means she must be having an affair. She must be having an affair. There's something wrong with her.
Now, hold on, you're on about your wife. We're on about children.
I'm saying the same thing.
So keep your wife out of it. We're on about children, not your wife.
Sometimes children just don't want physical contact. Why can you not get that into your head that you don't own children, you don't own affection from them? It's not about you, it's about them. There are certain days that a child just doesn't want to be kissed, doesn't want to be hugged. There must be something wrong with them.
But Jeremy, you'd know that anyway.
I know my kids, Jeremy, right? And I know, for instance, if they did not want to hug me, obviously they had a bad day in school, bad day in the street, something is annoying them.
No, not necessarily. My daughter, I came home yesterday and the three kids were at home. One of them ran up to me and gave me a hug straight away. Daddy's home. The other one didn't do anything because he was busy on the PlayStation. And then
you didn't ask him. Did you ask him?
I didn't ask him.
No, because he was busy on the PlayStation. Well then.
But my third child, my other daughter, I said, "Can you give Daddy a hug?" And she says no. And I just that's fine. She just there's no law that makes.
Right. So when she said no, did you ask her was she okay?
No, because she was.
Yeah. Well then. You should ask her was she okay?
Oh, that's bold. That's
yeah.
bollocks.
No, but I would.
Like,
is there something wrong?
I said, are you okay?
They don't owe us anything. They literally do not owe us anything. Kids do not owe us touch. They don't owe us a touch. They literally don't.
I understand that, but the point that Mary is making is when your daughter said no, did you not say, is everything okay? Is there a reason you don't want to give Daddy a hug?
You don't have to give a reason. You don't.
You know your child. Obviously, you don't know your daughter the way you think you do in that case. Because I know if I ask my son for a hug and he says no, I know there's something wrong. Because every day for the past 13 years, he has hugged me morning, noon, and night. So if he says no, I know, okay, there's something wrong.
You have a very fragile ego, then. You really have that.
No, I don't.
You do.
I know my children.
Okay, stay there for a second, because our Katie, who's regular on Opinions Matter and will be with us for the next 2 weeks, wants to get in on this. You're triggered by this conversation as well, Katie.
Whoa, how's it going? I'm sitting here baffled by what's that woman's name, Mary.
Yeah, Mary is on the other line. Yeah,
I'm genuinely speechless at what I'm hearing from her. Mary, what is going on? Are you okay? Like that to me is crazy. No, that's crazy. As Jeremy said, and Jeremy is 100% on the money, I don't say that often, I will say it today. Yeah. Your child doesn't owe you affection. Even if there is something wrong with your child and you know there's something wrong, that your child still does not have to, you are not entitled.
Excuse me. I'd be picking up and washing and drying and fucking bathing and feeding and loving and playing. At the end of the night, I'm having a fucking 10-second cuddle. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. If I'm aware to ring the police now, I get my cuddles, thanks very much. I get them in.
To be hugged or kissed by your child. Just like nobody else is entitled to be hugged by you, and you're entitled not to have anybody hug or kiss you against your will. It's just because a child is a child doesn't mean that they're any less entitled to the rights over their own body and who touches them and who they touch, regardless of how old they are. I see it all the time, and I've seen it before where parents would meet an old friend or, granny and granddad, or they run into someone and it's like, oh, give them a hug, and the child says no, the child's shy. Oh, give them a hug. That pisses me off to no end. Your child is exercising their right to not be touched and to not touch anyone else. And the parent is actively infringing. Sorry, I'm not finished, Mary, 1 second. The child is they're actively infringing on the child's right to choose what he or she does with their body, not your body, their body. Just because they're your child doesn't mean that you actually own their body.
Well, hold on a second, right? As a mother, and as the mother of 3 kids, that's the kind of mother I was, right? I showed them love, right? But outside of this household, they know that they cannot just hug strangers, and strangers cannot hug them. They know what way to react with the public. But as a mother with 3 kids...
Mary, let me stop you there. Consent isn't only consent when it's with people you don't know. People are entitled to have consent, to have boundaries with people they do know as well. Just because you know someone, that's like saying a husband can go in and force his wife to have sex because she's his wife. Sorry, no, that's bullshit. If you don't want someone to touch you, whether they're your mother, they're your sister, they're your brother, they're your child.
But Casey, we're not talking about sexual assault here. We're talking about...
It's not sexual. It's boundaries. If my father-in-law comes in every morning, I work. My parents-in-law, my parents mind the kids. They share between themselves. My father-in-law comes in and he'll ask my daughter for a hug. My daughter who's 4. Sometimes she'll say, "No, Grandad, not yet," and she'll put the hand out. And you know what he does? He says, "Okay, give me one when you're ready." An hour later, or within the hour, she'll come up and she'll sit in his knee and she'll give him a hug. And you know what? I could not be happier with that, because she's practicing her right to set boundaries. She's practicing her right to, consent to what she wants, and it's being respected. Makes me even happier. And she's learning that from a very young age that.
So if I wait at a bus stop, or your kid waits at the bus stop, right? And then the bus comes and she says to the busman, "Is it okay if I get on the bus, man?" And the busman says no. Is that okay? Is that okay? You would wait in the fucking rain until the bad man people turn up? Do one, mate. Do one. Weirdo. Freak. Get off me fucking live.
Pay for me to set boundaries. I don't have to hug anyone I don't want to hug. It's like parents who use like special words for penis and vagina. Just use the bloody words. Teach your children, what their bodies are, bodily functions, and teach them that it's okay to not want someone in your personal space, and to be okay with saying no and sticking to that. Don't force your child to hug anyone.
Let me ask you. No, I agree with you on that. Don't force your child to hug every Tom, Dick, and Harry. I agree with you 100% on that. I hate.
Or you, or a parent. Sure, your child shouldn't be forced to do anything they don't want to do.
We're not forcing anybody. Nobody's talking about forcing a child. You will know if your child doesn't want a hug because they'll move away from you. They'll push you away. You'll know. And Casey, let me ask you then, if you ask one of your 2 for a hug and one of them says no, do you just leave it at that?
Yes.
Do you not ask?
I would often say, if we're sitting on the couch and we're watching a movie, I'd say to Claude or Tyke, I'd say, "Do you want to come over and give Mammy a snuggle?"
I don't get this. I don't get it, right? How can you force a child to hug you? I don't get it. Unless you're doing something that you should like really fucked up. But most kids go, "Hey, get away from me," and you put them down and go, "Yeah, go and fuck off. Go over there and play then." You know what I mean? My simple brain doesn't get it. They're complicating something that's not complicated. You don't pick them up by their ankles and give them a few knees in the teeth and say, "Yeah, get over here, I just wanted to..." No, you say, "Here, can I have a hug?" And they go, "No." You go, "Right, fine, fuck off, then I'm making a cup of tea." This is weird. The world is fucked. Everyone should be prescribed weed. Everyone should be.
No, I don't want to. Okay, that's fine. And within the hour, then you guarantee they'll be over sitting on top of me. Then, but I'm happy because they've decided. Yes, it's on their terms.
Okay, now,
I just can't believe the amount of entitled parents here.
What Mary said a while ago was, if her child was to say no, she would immediately say, "Is everything okay?"
Well, that's ridiculous.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's not crazy. We have a routine. That's the way we are as a family. We're a very loving family. So if I went to work and I'd even called the kids to say, "I'm going," and went to work, he'd ring me, "Mum, why did I not get a hug before you went to work?"
But that's fine now, but the day might come. How old's your son now?
He's 13 and 7.
He's 13, so the day is probably going to come very soon. I'd imagine starting secondary school, he'll start growing up, becoming a bit more of a man than a boy.
Yeah.
The day will come soon where he won't want Mammy hugging him, and it won't be cool, and he won't want that anymore. No, it might not happen, but if it does, that's his right, and that's not for you to think.
But hold on, myself and himself have spoke about that. Like, we still go out in public and he holds my hand, right? And I said to him, "When you start secondary school, Pet, you don't have to hold Mammy's hand, but Mammy, I want to."
And that's great. That's brilliant. But because your child says, "No, I don't want a hug," you shouldn't even question that. You should say, "Right, he doesn't want me touching him. He doesn't want to give me a hug." That's the end of the story. He set boundaries. I'm going to accept his boundaries because I'm a decent mother who's not going to suffocate my son and make something out of nothing. Like, this is, I genuinely...
But I don't know one parent ever that would go, "You better give me a hug right now." Like I don't get it. Surely any parent would go, "Okay, well, let me know when you do want one." It's this weird stuff where guys, oh man, it's a freaky world out there. I wouldn't even like to sit beside a single woman on the train. I wouldn't even like to fucking, if some little kid was walking out in front of a road, I'd be afraid to save him or save her. Honest to God, if someone was choking, I'd be afraid to save the kid. If I noticed someone was about to trip over some barbed wire because she had a big fucking revealing top on, nice tits or something, I'd be afraid to go over and say, yeah, or you know what I mean? Because they go, "Oh, are you looking at my breasts?" Well, you're the one who have your breasts out, and I'm walking your direction, so your breasts are actually facing me. It's actually really hard not to look at your breasts, but you can walk on that barbed wire. What barbed wire? Ah! Fucking weirdos. Weirdos.
Can't believe what I'm hearing. That you think that.
So imagine if I asked my son for a hug, right, before I went to work, and he said no. I'd go to work then, and I'd be worried sick. I hope he's all right.
That's
Should I text
on
him?
you.
When I ask him,
Mary,
is he okay?
that's
Yes.
on you. If you can't accept other people's boundaries, you are the problem. He is not the problem.
Hold on,
If
no
you
one
let
said
that
the
affect your
child. No
day,
one said the child
if
is
you
the
let
problem.
something-
Nobody said the child is the problem.
No, but you're saying there must be something wrong with him. If you
Yes,
go to
because
work
I know
and
my
you
son.
can't function, and you
My
can't
son,
function at
hold
work,
on, my son comes to me when he's sad, when he's happy, when he's lonely, for every other reason.
brilliant.
Yes,
All of this can be narrowed down to they've sexualized a hug. A hug. They've sexualized the hugging of children now. How fucked up is that? Fucking weirdos. I'm going inside now anyway. Oh, I'm in the dark now. Yeah. Good boy. Yeah. Look at the two dogs. Good girl. Good boy, Teddy. I thought they're doing a few years. Looking at John. See how was bleeding out he is. So yeah, here we are. Awkward silence. Hold that light off. Lock that key. I love having change in my pocket. Sounds like I have money. You're going, yeah, TV, yeah. Your phone's gone dead. I have to go get the charger. Anyway, well, no point of really staying live much, is there? Oh, fuck. The kids are off school anyway, like, but I think I might just cozy up for a movie or something. You know, fucking hell, what's that? Where'd that come from? Okay, no. Jeez, what? What? Are you coming down?
I left my machine down there.
Deadly. He's still upstairs playing, I believe Harry is he?
Yeah.
He's still up there. He's been playing since 7 a.m. this morning. Well, actually, no, he stayed in his dad's last night, so I'm not sure.
I was going to say,
Well, I was just about to come off live because I've only 10% battery. It won't charge on time anyway, unless it's the laptop one. Oh, yeah, what? No, Layla. Same. Yeah, I think that's it for the night, guys. I don't want to smoke anymore because I need it for tomorrow. And I've had a good day. So, put away the dishes, listen to Sky News, have a cup of tea, have an ice cream there. Now, I don't know if you've ever spiced up your life like this.
No.
You have a cup of tea and you have an ice cream, right? So you got the hot tea with the cold ice cream, can you? So there's a cat right there. And then I've got this little bitch dying to pounce, look. Just dying to pounce. He's a biggie. Molly's on the floor. Look at Molly Malone's on. Layla, you stay. You get into bed. So yeah. I'm gonna cook myself something over there now in a minute. That's my little kitchen. I didn't check him out yet, actually. Thanks for reminding me. I take a screenshot of that because I'm always looking for tunes, especially in the mornings. But I think I'm gonna call it quits tonight anyway, and then watch a bit of TV, guys. That's what I'm gonna do. So have a munch, as I said, ice cream and a cup of tea. So I bid you all good evening. I hope you all have a good evening. Everybody, Luke, Ralph, Leslie, you know, Hammy, Scott, Hoax, Martin, Martin as well. I love Donald Trump. So, well, I don't know why I have a red nose. What's going on here?
I've never had a black cat before.
Fucking hell. Anyway, right, go on. I'll talk to you all tomorrow morning, right? Bright and early. I'll see you in the morning. I'm always up for the wake and bake first thing. If you ever get a notification from me early, it's Fat Doinks. Fat Doinks early in the day. Good night and God bless everybody. See you soon. Take it easy, Leslie. Good night, Luke. Ralph. See you tomorrow.
Thanks for saying goodbye.